You know, a tough environment, really well-coached team, really talented team. So I think it's definitely our toughest test yet. But I think everybody's risen to the occasion this week because, you know, obviously we know it's online on Saturday.
Yeah, what do you see about Notre Dame defensively that just jumps out at you, that makes them a little bit different than maybe who you've played so far?
Yeah, I think first and foremost they're talented. You know, across the board there's really no position where I think they're weak in, and a bunch of experience. So they've been in the system for a couple of years now, and I think they're really well coached on film. They don't really have any breakdowns or let guys run free, and they make you earn every yard you get. So I'm excited for it.
Does your process change at all for a week like this, just the magnitude of the game, knowing what environment you're going into on Saturday? Do you have to prepare yourself mentally differently this week?
I would say so. I think every week I hold myself to an extremely high standard, regardless of who we play and where we play. But I think in the back of your mind, obviously, you know what it is and you know what type of test you're going to see on Saturday night. Yeah, I feel like this week we've obviously ramped up the intensity, I think, just because we know who we're going up against on Saturday. I feel like everybody has kind of had an edge to them, which is good. And I think we've used that momentum from last week and carried over to this week. I think early on we might have been a little sluggish at practice at times, like the first few weeks. And then last week I feel like we really ramped it up and realized every single rep in practice matters. And so now I feel like we're using that momentum, like I said, from last week's week of work to carry into this week, which has been good. And I think regardless of who you're playing, that should be kind of your mindset, is just going out there and, you know, not holding anything back. And I feel like when you put in a lot of work on and off the field and you feel confident with what you're going to do, I think you earn the right to do that. I think if you try to cheat it and take shortcuts, I don't think you can go out there and truly play free and play as fast as you want to. But with the work week that we've put in so far, I think that everybody will have the confidence to go out there on Saturday night and just let it fly.
We've kind of been there before. Obviously, we played Notre Dame last year, and I've had some big games on my belt, Penn State, TN North, Georgia. So I've kind of been in that situation before. The Rose Bowl, I had my first start. I was probably more nervous for that game than ever. So I feel confident in myself. I trust the coaches and the game plan that we got going in, and you know, it should be fun. That's kind of like the villain mentality you kind of have when you're going on the road. I just really enjoy. So yeah, I think we got a lot of confidence from last week. Obviously, you had to build to get to that point. Week 3 kind of took us a slow start. I think, you know, definitely, you know, switching quarterbacks, I think a lot can play into it. But obviously, both quarterbacks played great. But just going forward with Kyle, I think he got more confidence in himself now. He allowed him to play freely and just kind of bring the whole offense together. I mean, yeah, they're well coached. Obviously, very skilled. I think Benjamin Morrison's his name, I believe. I think freshman All-American last year. So obviously, I know he's a very talented player. You know, plays particularly to the boundary where I'm usually at. So that should be a good matchup.
Yeah, I think that just shows if we can put the pieces together and put them together at the right time, we can do some good things. But we just got to make sure we're still clicking on all cylinders, and there's no time to take a breath of fresh air and relax. I mean, it's pedal to the metal, and those are the grindstone here. God, to be honest with you, sometimes you get so focused on doing everything else that you don't really think about that. But if you do sit back and take a breath and think about that, yeah, I mean, it's kind of 10 years ago, you'd be like, God, I'd kill to play in this game. Now you're here, so trying to make the most of it, really. But it's definitely a good feeling.
When you guys are going into a road environment for a big game like this, as a team captain, kind of what's the biggest message to the younger guys on the team?
It's the same game we played since we were 6 years old, growing up in the backyard. You can't make it bigger what it is, but you also can't minimize anything about it. So it's a fine line you walk there, but you can't play uptight, you can't play nervous.